Hi everyone, it's bridal week. I've had loads and loads of requests. It's May. Lots of people are going to be getting married and either doing their own makeup or they're going to be doing somebody else's makeup. And they want to hear my thoughts on it. So I thought I'd do an intro, just because there's so much to say about bridal makeup. So I thought I'd sort of go through what I think are the key points to think about. The first thing I'll say is please don't make your makeup a trendy makeup. If you look at anyone's photographs who got married in the 80s, well not anyone's but some people that went with whatever was the trend makeup at the time, probably like blue eyeshadow and orange lipstick, you'll find that those wedding pictures are really dated, and the hair as well obviously. Whereas sometimes you look at people's wedding that got married, like Grace Kelly got married quite a long time ago, but you look at her pictures and you can't really place it, you can't really put a date on it. And that's really what you want. You want to be able to look at your photographs in 10, 20, 30 years and just think you look timelessly, classically beautiful. You can't really, it doesn't shout which era you got married in. So that's another thing to remember. I often think that weddings come in sort of different colour schemes. There's the sort of pinky cool wedding, the one where the cool toned wedding where all the bridesmaids are in pink, the flowers are pink, there's lavenders, there's all those sorts of shades. And if you were to then have an orangey makeup and an orange lipstick, in that case it's so out of sync with the colour of the rest of the wedding that I find that feels really jarring. There's the other weddings that have sort of the corally bridesmaids or the yellowy colours and the gold, and that feels like a very warm toned, again with the flowers and all the sort of decorations and things. So and then there's of course the non-colour makeup with the dress obviously white and the flowers are white and everything's sort of white or green. Obviously you can do whatever you want in that case makeup wise. And then there are the winter makeups that have the red dresses and the red roses, and in a situation like that, a red lip would look beautiful, a soft red lip and maybe a rosy cheek would really lend itself to that sort of theme of the makeup. Obviously it has to suit you as well, so it has to suit your skin tone and your colouring and the amount you use. Obviously you want it to look natural, but some people, you can put so much makeup on them. I find this with my clients. So you just put loads and loads of makeup on and they just look like they've hardly got any on. Their face sort of absorbs it. And then somebody else, you'll put a tiny bit of makeup on and maybe a little bit of eye makeup, and suddenly it's almost like it's too much. Certain faces can take a lot more makeup. And in terms of, if you're having a cool, maybe coloured wedding and there's lots of bluish pink roses and bridesmaid dresses, and you think, well, I want my makeup to tone in with that, but I don't suit those really bluey tones. You can still sort of think about different ways of doing it. There are so many different pinks. For example, this is quite a blue pink and this is a sort of more neutral pink. So if you didn't suit the blue, you could still go for the more neutral pink, but it would still tie in with the theme and the sort of colour of your wedding and give you that very sort of classy feel. Now, you should look like yourself as well. That's another thing to say. So if you've worn black eyeliner every day for as long as you can remember, you can't just suddenly ditch it on your wedding day because your groom's not going to recognise you. So you have to think about what you normally wear as well, and sort of try to look like yourself, but just obviously a much better version of yourself, a more beautiful version, a more polished version of yourself. I think it's definitely better to do classic shapes. So even if you're going for a sort of black eyeliner, keep the shape quite classic. It's not going to date. Same with the eye makeup. Lots of sort of blending and just sort of a beautiful finish to the makeup, but still to have quite a classic feel. Now with photography, you have to really think about this a lot because you're going to be photographed all day long. If your wedding goes into the evening, there's going to be lots of flash cameras, there's going to be artificial lights, and I approach that in the way I would a red carpet event. So something like, you see some shimmery powders you can put under your eyes. I think it's Laura Mercier brightening powder. This would be your worst enemy for a wedding, because if you've already used some light reflective concealer and then you put that on top, you're just going to be glaringly white under the eyes and it's not going to look good because you want everything to sort of tone in and look sort of seamless and beautiful. So absolutely absolutely avoid too much light reflection. You only want light reflection to be in the places you want it to be, so a little bit under the eyes, but not set with a shimmery powder. You can use highlighters and things, but you want to use them just where you want that flash to pick them up. So the high point of the cheekbones, you want it well blended in. You don't want anything to sort of have any edges to it. It just needs to look really beautifully done. And certainly powders, avoid the shimmery powders all over, you know, or in the wrong place, because they'll just look very distorted and very harsh in flash light. So you want to really think about that. Now, wearing white really changes how your makeup looks. So if you're someone that thinks you always need to be, I don't know, really tanned and have a lot of fake tan on, you should really have a look how you look with a white dress on, because you'll find that, you know, your makeup will look very different. And just even holding white up to your face will completely change how the makeup looks. You know, you don't want to look too washed out, but then again, you don't want to look too tan. So when you go for your trials and when you're trying out, take a camera with you, and also try and wear a white top, because that'll really help. Or even take a piece of white material that you can hold up to the makeup and have a look how it looks. Always take photographs at the trial, and take photographs with a flash, so you can really see how everything's sitting together and making sure there isn't, you know, some strange light reflection going on under the eyes or anywhere else. So really think about that. Often you'll sort of finish your makeup and think it's done, put the white dress on, and then God, you look totally washed out, and you'll need, you know, probably a little bit more blusher than you thought you really did need. Or certain colours will suddenly look, you know, if you're too much makeup around the eyes, it'll suddenly look really quite harsh against a white dress. So really think about that. Now, it has to last all day. If you're getting married in the morning, particularly so. So look for long-lasting formulations. So if you're using eye pencils or waterproof pencils, waterproof mascaras are really good ones now that really do work. Waterproof cream eyeshadows, long-lasting cream eyeshadows, all of these things will really help. And apply your makeup in thin layers. So if you're using a primer, maybe don't put too much moisturiser on before. If you can get away with it, even just go straight to the primer. You know, loads of moisturiser, loads of primer, loads of foundation, loads of everything is just going to come off. It comes off so much quicker than thin layers, which are really well blended and in synergy with the skin. They're going to last so much longer. You probably will need to touch up, especially lipstick, because you tend to kiss everybody after the wedding, and people just keep kissing you all day long. So ask your bridesmaid or somebody that's with you to have some powder, a little compact in a bag, some lipstick, maybe a bit of concealer. And the other thing to do is obviously to check your body, because you're going to be wearing, I don't know what your dress is like, but if it's a low back or you're showing your shoulders, you need to think about making all your skin uniform. So if you've got any little spots on your shoulders and things, you know, it's the one day when you've got a lot of time to get ready. So do really good concealing, cover every little blemish on your face, every little mark. If there's anything on your back, you know, ask someone to cover it for you. Set it with powder. If you're going to use body makeup, I suggest MAC Face and Body, just because it dries. But remember, you're wearing a white dress. If you're doing your arms, for example, don't do the underside of them, because it'll rub off on the dress. And just keep your body looking really uniform in colour. You can use highlighter, but again, be careful where you use it. It is going to pick up massively in the flash. So to make it subtle and to make it classy, maybe just use the top of the shoulders, the collarbones, the smaller areas, just to give your skin a really polished feel. And that's it. Please enjoy watching please watch the bridal looks that I'm going to do. I'm going to post in the next week or so, and I hope all the information was helpful and you have a great wedding. Thanks for watching.